Hi. Well, class is flying by. It's great. I want to say that I have to apologize for people who were having trouble with Blackboard this week. I have no influence over that, but I certainly do apologize on behalf of EKU. I want to say the discussion boards, now that we're at level 4 and you're really digging into occupation-based practice, are even more outstanding than they have been before. I know that this is your passion, and so here we are. I want to thank Cheryl for her really provocative statements about cone stacking that led to so much great discussion. So it sort of leaves us with two questions. What is an occupation? And, there's lots of different definitions, but for me, an occupation, well, check the person. If they have a pulse, they're having an occupation. So that keeps it pretty simple, and that can include cone stacking. It certainly includes things like cooking or, whatever your great pleasure and passion might be, but it can also include things like falling down the stairs or being assaulted in a dark street. So those are all occupations. So that doesn't necessarily mean that because someone's having an occupation that they're having an occupation-based practice experience with their therapist. So then you go on to the next question, then what is occupation-based practice? Well, so you're reading a lot of different authors, and I'll let you form your own conclusions about that, but you have lots, really the best researchers in occupation-based practice. They're at your fingertips in your textbook, and the question of what is most therapeutic and what is occupation-based. So, continue that great conversation that you were having on the discussion board. I am thrilled with it. So, bravo to all of you. And thank you especially to Cheryl for being brave enough to say something that, really gets us going and gets us delving. So, it's not whether something is or isn't occupation-based, but there is a continuum of excellence, and that's something to think about. All right, so moving on, then, and this is going to be really a short video. Another thing that's been coming up that I think is really interesting to think about, especially for those of you who are headed for academic careers or may not even know it but may end up in academic careers, the effect of OT education on occupation-based practice. Now, I want to just sound a little note of warning. Personally, I think, we are very alarmed when we have fieldwork students who go out and they come back and say, nobody's doing occupation-based practice out there. Just keep in mind the quality of your reporters. They may not be able to see the balance that's being struck by a therapist between what they might be able to do in an acute care setting, for instance, which is a really challenging, like hand therapy, very challenging settings, to be holistic and naturalistic and simulate what's going on at home, or even to be at home. Fieldwork students, the clinical reasoning research tells us that new students are in pragmatic reasoning and things look black and white to them. So it's true, they may not be seeing what excellence we might wish for, but they're also questionable reporters as far as the complexities of occupation-based practice. Another thing that I've wondered about is, and I'll just leave you with this question, what do you think inhibits occupation-based practice the most? Is it the billing and productivity pressures in institutional structures? Or is it OT education in the way we prepare our students? You're all very impressive, very articulate. There is not a student in this course that is not operating at a sophisticated doctoral level in this discussion, in their and assignments that they're turning in, and in their final papers. I want to say that to me, you are all very obviously occupational scientists now. Now, whether you've gotten out there and done some occupational science research or not, now that would take you to the next level. but you're definitely thinking as occupational scientists, and that is the essence. So I'll be grading your drafts all weekend. It's very exciting, a little intensive. I'm going to be sure to get them back to you within 1 week of when they were turned in. I'm turning in those, I'm reviewing and sending back those papers that need the most conceptual input first, and then if your paper you feel like was in pretty good shape and you know that I'm going to be doing that track change editing, yours will come later within that 1 week after being turned in, which will be Wednesday. So keep working. It's great. I love this class, and we're almost to the end. Amazing.